Hello? What's that? Hello? Mordecai and Rigby are gay? Okay.
So, regular show. You know what it is. You know who, and even if you don't, that doesn't really matter because today we're delving into the world of the regular show comics, which are pretty different from the show itself, let's say. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Releasing in 2013, the regular show comics are a series of 2 short stories per issue, all independent from one another. So it's not like a continuous story or anything, I assume at least. Listen, I'm not reading through all of these, though some of them do seem interesting, so maybe I should someday. But you know which one I read from to back, baby! Let's talk about issue number 13. The first story is about Eileen, and it's just really cute. It's just Eileen having a nice quiet day all to herself. Something we absolutely wouldn't have been able to see in the show proper, so it's nice to see Eileen get this little spotlight. But of course, that's still not what we're here to talk about. I do think it's funny for this comic to be shown first, because like, I'm not saying this was intentional, don't get me wrong, but it kind of comes off as a reminder that Eileen is a lovable character. And also Rigby's girlfriend. She exists. She's Rigby's girlfriend, by the way, and she's there, and you love her, and you love the relationship, by the way, and you know it. And now, finally, for the actual point of this video, issue number 13, story number 2. It starts with silhouettes of Mordecai and Rigby by a tree, and then we get the title drop. Mordecai and ... with a heart on the bottom. We then hard cut to a couple kissing, parallel to our main characters on the tree. Mordecai doesn't really seem to care or notice since he just wants to relax. But Rigby takes issue since this is specifically a makeout tree. Now, does Rigby take issue with this because it's awkward that other people are there, you know, making out? No. Does it bother him that him and Mordecai are together in such a spot? Also no. Instead, he says, "Shouldn't you be sitting with your precious Margaret?" What a strange thing to say out of nowhere. No, like Mordecai shouldn't be sitting with Margaret. They were working. Whatever. There are these 2 very intentional, very distinct ways that those 2 last words were written out. That, like, the emphasis on those 2 words. All caps on precious, which is how Mordecai feels about her. And then this like squiggly underline, like this outright disdain for Margaret specifically. What did Margaret ever do to you? Goddamn. However, Mordecai rebels in this comment and agrees that yeah, he should be making out with Margaret right now. And he starts carving their initials onto the tree, seeing that other couples did so as well. He doesn't finish it because he has to go back to work, and Rigby once again mocks the idea of Mordecai ever being with Margaret. And because this is a regular show, the tree turns out to be some abomination that they just can't seem to control no matter what they do. They go to Skips for help, and being Skips, he's able to figure out the problem immediately. He's seen it happen before actually. What they need to do is to get Mordecai to finish his carving. But it comes with a catch. Quote, "You can't just carve out anything. The feelings gotta be mutual. You hear? Sincere and mutual." End quote. Mordecai is really damn confident that carving out Margaret's initial is gonna work. And for some reason, he's kind of posing like that really cursed PNG that looks nothing like him. Ew. Skips isn't falling for it, and obviously neither is Rigby once again. Again, this is the second time on this same page where he just has to voice his disdain for the Mordred ship. And in total, how many times has it been? Man, like 4? 4 times? He's just a little hater. So, we immediately cut to them struggling with the tree again, and them arguing over the same thing again. However, I want to talk about the way that these 2 panels are drawn because they're pretty interesting to me. In the first one, the tree branch is almost splitting the panel in half, therefore literally splitting up Mordecai and Rigby as they argue with one another. The tree is also covering part of Mordecai, meanwhile Rigby is left more out in the open. Put a pin in that. The next panel is almost an inverse in positions, where the tree is now literally surrounding Rigby as he screams Mordecai's name for help, But Mordecai leans forward, stands his ground, or rather, stabs it, as he's dead set on Margaret feeling the same for him as he does for her. What follows is a series of panels that make my jaw drop on the floor. Rigby is crying in pain, yes, probably having to do with the tree wrapping around him, but here's what he has to say. As a reminder, what Mordecai said was, "Margaret can't wait to date me." And Rigby says that he knows. He knows Margaret can't wait to date Mordecai. And he sobs. From the physical pain, or from the idea of those two getting together? Or maybe both, who knows? And then Rigby flat out says that he's jealous. There's no elaboration on this. There's no platonic explanation that he just misses his bro or something, no. This story, where damn near all of his lines are him being a hater towards the idea of Mordecai dating Margaret, is because he is jealous. Make of that what you will. And this tree was forcing that out into the open, making it so that Mordecai wasn't the only one here in denial / hiding some true feelings. Rigby was also hiding how he felt. And this tree just finally made him say it. This eldritch tree really just outed Rigby like that, huh? Rigby resigns himself to this fate, assuming that he's going to die right then and there, but giving Mordecai his blessing to just do it, save himself, and go for Margaret. Mordecai is determined. He remembers Skips' word about it needing to be real love, and he does it. He carves the tree. M+R. Mordecai and Rigby. Because he knows it's not Margaret. He knows it could never be Margaret, and he's done pretending it could ever be. It's always going to be Mordecai and Rigby, with their initials now carved in a heart on a makeout tree, alongside the couples, or dare I say, soulmates that have done the same. I've read fan fiction where these two
hold hands,
and this is gayer than any of that. Okay, there's still one more page to go. The tree is pleased by this act of gay rights and releases Rigby, who slams onto the ground. Mordecai is, all things considered, pretty chill about what just happened, and reiterates the point of the story. He likes Margaret, but he likes Rigby way more. I mean, he likes his best friend more. His best friend, his platonic boy best friend, who looks at him like this, by the way. And then they're about to, fist bump? I guess that's one reaction to finding out you and your bro are written in the stars to be gay lovers, sure. And then, out of nowhere, in the second to last panel, Pop shows up out of nowhere, spelling out to the reader that Mordecai and Rigby's love is platonic. Just in case you were getting interested, they're just friends. And then, we end on this. I genuinely ask you, what is being conveyed here? I even asked Twitter people on what they thought, just to get like another perspective, because I'm going insane. I assume, because it's a regular show, that them feeling kind of awkward over the direction that the friendship just took, that's what's happening, like they were being too mushy. And even just wording it like that makes me feel stupid, because in other words, this would be like a gay joke, right? Like them realizing how gay this all was, and they didn't really notice until just now because they were so caught up in the moment. But even just calling it a gay joke is so... I don't know how else to describe it. I know it sounds like a stretch, but that really is what I felt like it's supposed to be. One comment described it as toxic masculinity, and yeah, that sounds more concise than whatever the hell kind of word vomit I just said. It can't just be them being annoyed that Pops ruined their moment, because what Pops says is so deliberately placed there, like a no homo mandate from the higher ups or something. Their reactions have to be a response to that. Another comment does see it as Pops ruining their moments, but they have the interesting read that it's because Mordecai and Rigby realized that they were sounding similar to Pops, aka all mushy, affectionate, and just all around too much, which is what killed their vibe. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense for why Pops is the one to show up so randomly at the end and not like Skips or Benson, who were earlier in the comic. Me personally, with everything that happened prior to this and Pops having nothing to do with it, like they don't even sound like Pops, they sound like themselves. Maybe Rigby's expression is a bit too much, but that's it. I feel like I'm going in circles at this point, and there's gotta be some angry commenter typing up how I'm clearly reaching to make these panels sound gay, when clearly what this comic is trying to say is... I don't know, man. Also, for the longest time, I thought Rigby was saying meh, which is a hell of a reaction to have to someone else reaffirming that your feelings for your best friend are platonic? But it's not even that. It's not even meh. It's fucking meh. What are you saying? The comic could have ended with the last panel. Just Mordecai and Rigby being interrupted by Pops, referring to their love as platonic. The joke could have been how random XD it is that Pops even showed up out of nowhere, that he's spelling out what just happened so bluntly. And maybe, just maybe, if you stretch and overanalyze Mordecai and Rigby's faces, maybe that could also be like a joke of sorts, up to interpretation, I guess. But instead, we end on this note where it honest to God reads like they're disappointed that they're supposed to be platonic. And that's the end. How do I even keep talking after all of that? Nothing I could possibly say could top any of that. But I still have some points to touch on, so here we go. The wiki describes this comic as confirming Mordecai and Rigby are soulmates. Platonic soulmates, that is. Don't get it twisted. Don't look too closely. As interesting and frankly delightful as this comic might have been, I cannot shake the feeling of he would not f***ing say that. But again, I'm not complaining. I quite like this look into a softer regular show. And honestly, if the main show was more like this, I might have had a deeper connection to it growing up. I bring up how different this is to the main show because, and I swear, I'm not trying to make assumptions about anyone who worked on the show or anything, but I have eyes, and I can see how meticulously they have Mordecai and Rigby interact with each other. Like it's down to an art, in a way. In the simplest of terms, they're just bros, you know? Just two bros, doing bro things, being stupid and stuff. Anything like hugging or holding hands is just, that's not them. It's weird to them. And I say bros because in one episode, Mordecai flat out says he sees Rigby as a brother. And I say hugging because in another episode, it's flat out said that Rigby would never hug Mordecai. And I say holding hands because, and saying with me now, in an episode, even if it's for magical, not affectionate plot reasons, Rigby does not want others to think he's holding hands with Mordecai. And even when they do this like hold hand magic thing again at the end, they don't even hold hands. They are not touching. You gotta no homo your way out of the ending of this episode, goddamn. And again, I'm not saying that them acting this way in the show is bad or suspicious or anything. This is just how the characters are. They're just like that. It's their characters. That's fine. But I bring all of that up because well, look at this comic where they hold hands. Look at this other comic where it ends with them holding hands. And it seems like they're happy that they found a way to do this where it's like socially acceptable. Look at this comic where they hug. They cry while hugging. They cry while hugging and saying they'll be together forever. And they say I love you. I didn't know what to compare this other comic to, but I can't not bring it up. There's a moment where some character, I guess, tries to hook up Mordecai and /or Rigby with some lady, and I saw this panel years ago, like a decade ago, and it's always stuck in my brain, but the way I misremembered it was that Mordecai said, no thanks man, we're involved. and then that the guy just jumped to conclusions that he meant him and Rigby. And then Mordecai just kind of blushed and panicked and then said no. And that's kind of what happens, but fully. What happens is Mordecai says, "Nah, man, we're involved." And all this guy says is, "Oh?" And Mordecai is the one who's like, not involved with each other, involved with ladies. Mordecai, all that man said was, "Oh," and you started panicking so bad. You okay, my man?
Dude, I'm buying.
Guys, I keep finding more and more of these. This is insane. Maybe I really should read all of these comics someday. I don't have any context for this one. Just look at it. All I'm saying is that the comics might not be all that accurate to how they are in the show, and that's okay. It's fun. It's cute. And as a fan on Twitter once put it, there are bros in the show, but boyfriends in the comics. So true. Earlier when I was like, "Oh, it could never be Margaret, it's always going to be Rigby, just Mordecai and Rigby forever," I was just trying to be dramatic, to make it gayer. I feel like I should give an obligatory mention that I'm not trying to hate on any other female love interest. Like, they are women in a regular show, they already have it bad enough as is, and I'm trying to keep this video lighthearted, so let me just stop right there. I cannot get into just how badly this show treats women, and I'm not trying to add on to that, okay? Okay. Like I keep saying, this comic wouldn't have happened on the show due to several factors, but there is actually an episode like really early on in the show that has some similar themes, and that's the one with the unicorns. This is the episode where these douchebag unicorn frat bros shows up, and they're just annoying for most of the episode. Honestly, it's kind of a nothing burger, all things considered, so let's just focus on the relevant parts here. First of all, we get this line right at the start.
What kind of loser would want a bunch of chicks tearing their clothes off?
Yes, I did headcanon Rigby as gay and felt really weird when Eileen was introduced. How did you know? Rigby's main personality this episode is him being bitter that he wanted to hang out with Mordecai, but Mordecai said no because he wants to ask out Margaret for the billionth time.
I want to hang out, but you're wasting your time with this guy. All he wants to do is get with Margaret.
Mordecai then buys some cologne. Cologne meant to attract a love interest, and guess who shows up first? I can't make this up, you guys. The unicorns show up and stuff happens. This episode is just paced kind of sloppily for a regular show. Like, it doesn't go as big as it usually does, and that's fine. They can't all be winners. A low-key episode is fine, but it's to its detriment because the characters sure do act like some insane things happen when they just didn't. Case in point, this episode tries to have an emotional climax, one where it's presented like, yeah, sure, Mordecai was being an ass for not spending time with Rigby, but also Rigby was in the wrong for... what? Hanging out with the unicorns? Rigby barely did anything this episode, and he for sure did not have some kind of personality change that he needed to come back from. And yeah, Mordecai is like, "You owe me an apology, meh." Rigby has done so many horrible things before and after this episode. It just feels so weird for like this confrontation to happen in such a nothing event. All of that being said, yeah, this episode and especially this scene made my younger self's gaydar go crazy. If you couldn't tell by now, I shipped these two pretty hard when I was a kid. It's actually so embarrassing for me to admit, but I'm trying to be nicer to my younger self. That's actually one of the reasons why this video even exists. I know I wasn't the only one getting hate comments for this ship at the time. Like I said earlier, the show proper presents them in such a way where I understand the type of fan base it like cultivated, so I understand why this type of fan base would have been against the idea of them being a romantic couple, you feel me? I can only hope it's gotten better over time and people aren't that mean, but I guess I'll know once I post this video. Anyway, back to the episode. The unicorns are wrecking the house, and Rigby slightly sides with them, but quickly realizes the error of his ways once Mordecai storms off. I repeat, he quickly realizes that this is wrong, and then goes out there to make nice with Mordecai again. Listen, I can't just sit here and overanalyze this scene. I probably could, but I'm exhausted. And if you've made it this far, then you probably see what I see. So I'm just gonna play the clip.
Hey, Mordecai.
Don't touch me!
Hey, so I sorta need your help.
Why don't you ask your new bros for help?
Dude, get over it! It's not my fault! If you would've just hung out with me and played some Strong Johns, none of this would've happened.
Look, I'm sorry about the game, but that doesn't give you the right to treat me like garbage. You owe me an apology!
I'm sorry.
A real apology.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry! Is that what you wanted to hear? I miss you! I miss you!
Okay, quit being a baby.
Oh! Ah! Why?
That's for psyching me.
And after they defeat the unicorns, here's how the episode ends.
And you! Quit spraying that cologne. It's not gonna get you any ladies.
Wanna go, bro?
Strong John?
Yeah.
By the way, I haven't watched the regular show movie, which I hear has a lot of interesting stuff with these two, so once I watch it, I'm sure I'll spontaneously... You know, all of this started because my friend mentioned that they like Rigby's voice from IOC, which then led me to start thinking about regular show again, which then led me to remember that one comic, which made me find the Soulmates comic instead, and now here I am, however many words into this video essay.
Wait, are we still going to the movie? You wanna go to the movie?
Nah, I'm over it.
Aw, what? But who am I gonna go with?
I've spent so much of this video talking about Mordecai and Rigby being gay. I really wanted to pull the rug and say that I don't even ship them at all anymore. Like, really, I really haven't since my phase back in the day. It's not like I'm even in the regular show fandom at all. Like, I barely talk about it anywhere. Instead, this comic alone lit up like a new appreciation for the ship. Not reigniting my old spark for it, but rather it's like I'm enjoying it for the first time now, with a new context and all. It's still kind of embarrassing for me, but yeah, I'm interested in whatever they have going on if you see them through a queer lens. Whatever toxic, messy, codependent thing they got going on. So that's regular show comic issue number 13. A piece of media that gave me a lot to think about, clearly. I will say, I'm glad I didn't see this comic when I was a kid because I absolutely would have felt queer baited. Like, are you kidding me? Hello? Anyway, do you think that after this comic, Benson walks past that tree and he's like, huh, Margaret and Rigby, that's crazy. And then Pops informs him about how the power of Mordecai and Rigby's love is what saved the day. How do you think Benson would react? Personally, I think he would laugh his ass off.